think those days are numbered. I think they need to really come out and take advantage of the opportunities that are coming, again, whether it's through green, through cost savings, through strategic, whatever the momentum within the business may be. How can you identify the opportunities where there is a conversation that is being made possible? What can you do from your aspect to generate that conversation, something that people will expect to hear from you, but still gives you some leadership to fix the problems that you know you have and start to address the underlying issues that you know are there. And how can you start to get that dialogue going? What are perhaps some of the other stakeholders' interests? What do they see out of that? So trying to give some people some, this is what the end of the piece of string might look like if it happens to swing past you, and it may not swing past you for long. So be prepared, be ready for it. You can't necessarily create a piece of string out of nothing. There are organisations where it's very hard to speak to people and the opportunity doesn't come up. When it does, and it may come up from any one of these particular areas, look out for it, and this is a potential way to respond. And this is how it links into what you know and what you're trying to do generally anyway. So just try and focus on that. Don't try and do too much in half an hour.
Well, all right, great. We certainly look forward to those presentations by yourselves. Just a couple more things. Let's just have a look. The data centre conference that you'll be speaking at the Grand High.
25th of February.
26th of February.
26th of February.
Friday the 26th of February. You're speaking, you'll get there on the right day. Friday, not the Thursday. Okay. Look, what sort of value do you see these type of conferences, given that the conference is really broken up into three sections? We have a data centre green tech side of it, which has been marketed separately, and there will be two halls for the data centre satellite conference. One's a bit, the planning and design, management, and the other the operational side of things as well. Given that we've just come out of, or we're coming out of the global financial crisis from 2008 to 2009, as I was mentioning earlier before we started, there's some big lights there. Financial markets around the globe have picked up. People are investing more into their technology infrastructure. How do you see the data centre conference platform being able to help with the delegates in this respect and get things happening, and particularly the outlook for 2010?
I guess I think this is another opportunity for the business to talk to technology. We get so few opportunities to do that, then the conference arena is always a good place to network and meet colleagues that have the same problems. It's good timing in my view, because I think the global financial crisis hasn't impacted Australia as much as it might have done. I see a lot of new initiatives out there to start looking at business continuity again. I think it's an ideal timing for this particular conference. Also leading to the fact that the week after the conference is Business Continuity Awareness Week globally. So there'll be a lot of high-profile activities going on around the world, trying to promote business continuity as a science in its own right. So to me, timing's perfect. The audience that there should be perfect as well, and hopefully the presentations will provide a lot of opportunity for gathering information and answering questions.
Well, that's great. Thanks very much for that, Phil. There's certainly going to be a lot of diversity into the presentations there, which is the main thing. Something for everybody at the various levels. I mean, in the previous discussion we're having, Danny, we are trying to attract more of the CXO level, the CIO, the senior IT manager, CTO type level as well, because they certainly have a lot more responsibility these days and accountability for the data centre and the operational expenditure on the data centre. Before, we're talking about a lot of the building services, FM side of things, used to see all the bills, but now there's been a swing shift coming back over, much to the chagrin of people. But the responsibility is clearly starting to sit now at the CIO level for that data centre space, because they realise that it's got to be managed, and this is a bit of a controversial statement, one that's been brought up last year a lot about who manages the data centre, but it's clear now that the swing shift has got to be an IT-based person, someone who bridges that gap between IT and facilities. So.
Look, it's got to be aligned with the business. It is a moving target. I think it's been seen as being stable and like building, but it's more dynamic. in so many ways. And when you look at the technology, which I won't go into now, but you know, in some of the speaking sessions, there's a huge amount of dynamism there, and it's got to be aligned with the business. You can't have two separate groups doing that. It needs to be, IT's got to struggle to align better with the business. It's got to come under one umbrella.
Yeah.
Be consistent with actually the design of your applications and the way that the resilience is working within your software design is going to determine your hardware, is going to determine you at the end of the day. So it needs to be a flow on. I think people are starting to realise that.
No, they are.
Yeah.
Now look, Benny, just with Phil's view there, just on the data centre satellite conference that's coming up, and other similar type conferences.
Yeah.
What is your opinion? Your field start of 2010 again. The importance of these type of conferences, the messages coming out, and the people being involved in them.
It's great. I mean, you can't solve these problems from inside your own office. Even, got to get out of your office to speak to the people within your organisation to get some change and to get some buy-in and get some engagement. It is very hard to get change and to exert leadership within your own organisation, as the incumbent inside. One of the great things about getting out to these conferences is to hear other people, to be able to come back. Sad though it is, it carries more weight. Somebody else is doing this. I heard about an organisation similar to ours. I heard about our competitor. I heard about who is doing X, Y, Z, who are worried about this, who are already down the path of. It adds some credibility, and we need that. It is just human nature.
It certainly does.
A business will engage with it more if they feel their peers are doing that too.
I mean, most of us in the BCM marketplace are pretty much siloed in an organisation. There's usually only one person. And if you don't get out there and talk to other people, you end up going down the wrong path. You waste your time. So.
And you go down that terrible hole. But look,
make the most of it.
To me, the conferences. Okay, I'm not part of the whole conference scene now, but I've been to a number of conferences in the past as a delegate. To me, it works on several levels. It's about the networking. It's about getting that knowledge and expanding that knowledge base for the whole industry. You're talking with vendors, you're talking with peers, you're talking with consultants. So you're getting this whole varied information coming on at those various levels. So you might be talking with CIOs, you might be talking with data centre managers, engineers, networking engineers as well, and various opinions, like you said, various war stories as well. And that's just totally invaluable. And the context you get, and you can go back and think about the pseudo-quiet of your office and try to digest all that, then move forward with it and think, geez, I've got some good ideas there. I need to speak with so-and-so. I think I'll follow him up. I've got his business card and have a bit more of a chat about what he did. And that's only got to be a benefit to the business. And unless we have these type of forums to do that, then, like I said before, we're all going to be siloed and we're not going to be able to advance as much. And again, the business is one who's going to lose out in the long run.
I mean, my experience of conferences is if I come out with one or two good ideas that I can use in my own organisation, that conference is when it's
Exactly, exactly my philosophy on that. Now look, just a final thing, guys. Outlook for 2010 in the industry, the IT, data centre, business continuity. Where do you see that heading now? I mentioned before about we're coming out of the GFC. Which is not Geelong Football Club, it's the global financial crisis. And they're not in crisis at the moment, they've done a couple of flags in a row. But where do you see it all heading for 2010?
I think the marketplace is pretty upbeat at the moment actually. I think there's a lot of movement going on right now. As I say, I think Australia hasn't suffered as much as some other parts of the world. I see opportunity out there for anybody who wants to get into the space, and I don't see any cuts in budgets around this space at the moment either, so I think it's all very positive.
Great. There's a lot of projects brewing.
Yeah.
They still haven't quite had the gate open yet. They're in the gate and they're marshalling and they're ready to go. And look, there are going to be a lot of external pressures, I think. We're going to find a lot more of the regulatory stuff coming through, and that's going to push a lot of people, and there's talk about that happening, not in ways it has across the finance sector, across all other sectors. Maybe a while coming, but those organisations are going to want to prepare for that. There's competitive pressures out there. There's certainly green pressures. There's going to be quite a bit of movement.
Excellent. Well, with that, I think we just might wrap things up and let you guys get back to your very busy schedules. Look, it's been great talking with you both. I'm Spencer Denyer and I'm signing off. Thank you very much.